going to get started with our spring concert. This is our second concert of the year that is grades 6 through 12. I always love these kind of concerts because you get to see the progression of how much our students have grown over the years and how much they grow from 6th grade up through high school and beyond. So we're going to get started with our 6th grade group. They have probably grown the most this year as musicians. We started with very simple songs, your Jingle Bells, your kind of standards, and now they're playing real songs. And it's great to hear them grow and mature. And so we're going to kick things off. I'm going to introduce Kaylee Arjecki, who's going to introduce our first song.
The song Barbara Ann was originally written in 1965, performed by the Beach Boys. This playful song has become a favorite of the 6th grade band. It was also a favorite of a local celebrity, Dick Goddard. One time at a band festival he was hosting, the band found out it was his favorite song. At the festival, the crowd got to hear it 6 or 7 times. Does it fit the Star Wars? Maybe not really. Leah's middle name was Barbara. Here is Barbara Ann.
So I may have forgot to mention that it's Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. And so kind of the tentative theme of this is music that maybe you might be able to hear in Star Wars. Again, I'm not sure that Barbara Ann fits that. We're going to go with Leia's middle name's named Barbara. But, we're trying to kind of make that fit. And then I promise we'll end with some real Star Wars music. Next up is Liam McHugh to introduce our next song.
This song was inspired by dances popular in the 1900s and 1800s and 1900s. It was in Star Wars. I think it would be the theme for a sketchy character who goes behind the hero's back. This song was an energetic tempo and learning piece. Learning this piece helped us practice our dynamics, which is how loud or soft we play our instruments. Here's David's Love.
Closing on the set for the sixth graders, we're going to introduce Erilyn McQuillan to introduce our next song.
The piece is designed to evoke images of legendary ancient empires and battlefields through a dark, aggressive musical style. If this wasn't Star Wars, I think that this would be one of the battle scenes near the end of the movie. We also welcome Carter Fannin as our guest conductor for this piece. Carter was the winner of our Band Olympics that we held in this February. Enjoy, Warriors of Ancient Worlds.
program, Caleb Gardner.
Storm Mountain Jubilee is a bluegrass bar dance. Its higher energy and nod to folk song Little Lisa Jane are a great way to begin our concert. If it were in Star Wars, I think it would be called it would be Jar Jar Binks on his home planet of Naboo having a party. And anyways, here's Storm Mountain Jubilee.
Next is Chase Hicks to introduce our next song.
Imagine you have just built a time machine and get to travel through time and space. This piece is written in 5 short segments, each one represents part of the journey. The first is the ride in the time machine. The second is the time of the cavemen. The third is ancient Egypt. The fourth is futuristic and a time where robots rule the world. The last segment is riding the time machine home. If it was in Star Wars, I think it would symbolize parts of the hero's journey. Please hold your applause until we complete our mission. Here is Time Travelers.
I would like to introduce Riley Hummel to close out our songs for our middle school portion.
Dark Adventure invokes the feeling of a battle between good and evil, and this one, evil seems to be winning. This song would fit perfectly in Star Wars. The melody passes between many different instruments in the band. We hope you enjoy Dark Adventure.
All right, Ava Cooley will introduce our next song.
This is a big band standard made famous by Glenn Miller Orchestra. While I don't think it really fits into the Star Wars theme, we urge you to use your imagination for where it might fit. Solos for this section are Ryan Bernasiak, me, Ava Cooley, and Cooper Dameron playing the doorbell that was rigged up for this performance by Greg Hicks.
So this group is a 6 through 12 ensemble, so sixth graders being the second year player up through obviously high school. This group had a chance to play at the Brookside Jazz Festival this past Friday and played with some really great bands, including Brookside, Avon Lake, and the Tiffin University Funk Band. So we were grateful to have that opportunity. These kids meet completely extracurricularly outside of school, 1 day a week for an hour and a half. And what they're able to accomplish is wonderful. They performed on 4 different concerts, and we're very proud of what they've been able to do. To introduce our last number for jazz is Cooper Dameron.
Ever since Saturday Night Live did a sketch about having a fever for more cowbell, band directors have been telling percussionists to leave the cowbell alone. I can just see the Porgs from The Last Jedi waddling into the scene with this funk rock tune as their theme. Soloists are Aiden Miller, Victoria Carter, Ava Cooley, and Leah Carpenter. Let's see if our percussionists can leave cowbell alone.
we will probably have a last minute addition of one more flute player who is playing softball all the way in Plymouth and is zooming here as we speak. And we hope that she is able to join us. When she comes, she's going to be in her softball gear because we value kids that do all the things. Kids should get to do all the things they love, be that music, sports, anything, 4-H. So we are proud of them. So when she comes, give her a round of applause. And now we introduce Victoria Carter for our first song.
Halcyon Hearts is centered around the warmth that love brings. This song takes us on an unexpected journey to find love. This was written by Ann Wilson for the original program notes about the song. But what does Halcyon actually mean? Halcyon describes a tranquil, prosperous, and idyllically calm time. I think if it wasn't Star Wars, it could be a romantic love theme for a young character. Anne went on to say, no matter the negativity around you, let love be love and always choose it. When you do, the halcyon days will come.
and somebody locked the band room. Oh well. All right, well, I'm gonna stall for a minute so she doesn't have to run too fast. All right. That last piece, Halcyon Hearts, we heard that a year ago. Several of our members, including graduated senior Ella Goggin from last year, Leah Carpenter, Jackson Dalton, and Braden Hicks went to an honors band in Ohio Northern. And I heard that and I said, it is so beautiful and I would love to be able to do that here, but can we do it? And we did. And I am so proud that we heard that in a 100-piece band, and I thought, I don't know. And yet, this band was able to accomplish it. I tell them all the time that just because we're a small band does not mean we do small things, or we do just the easy things. We challenge ourselves to do the hard things, and I'm so grateful for these kids. This is Teacher Appreciation Week, and I'm here to tell you I appreciate every one of these kids. They are my heart and my soul. And now Leah Carpenter is very slowly going to introduce the next song.
This year, we celebrate 250 years of freedom and independence in our nation. However, we know that freedom is not free. This song was written by James Clarendon for his father who served in the Army during World War II. While this song doesn't fit our Star Wars theme, we honor all servicemen and women who put their lives on the line for our country. Thank you.
And to give her a minute to unpack, can we please have anyone who has served in the military, is currently serving in the military, or is going to be still serving in the military, please stand up to be recognized. songs than the incomparable Emily Torres.
This high-energy piece is a combination of disco, funk, rock, and minimalism into a vibrant musical fusion. Though not part of the actual Star Wars series, I feel that this would best fit with the 2018 film Solo about Han Solo's origin story. We hope that you will enjoy this upbeat celebration to close the high school portion of the concert. Solo by Braxton Walker.
It's called Groovitude.
I would be remiss if I did not mention Leland Smithberger and Cooper Darren, who played the set on this last piece, who came in. Were able to come to 2 rehearsals to practice these. Please give those young men a hand. We have one more. So speaking of things we didn't get to practice, this was one of them. Okay, when you have in the 80s of kids that don't get to rehearse things together much, sometimes you have a little bit of chaos. But how wonderful it is to have every single kid in this program get to play something together. Because again, music is about community. Music is about togetherness. And so I really wanted to end this concert this way, and I appreciate your patience while we figure out the mechanics of getting everybody situated.
We have reached the final selection for our May. Oh my God. We have reached the final selection for our May the 4th Be With You concert. The combined 6 middle school and high school bands are proud to present a medley of songs actually found in Star Wars. You will hear the main theme, Cantina Band, Imperial March, The Emperor Rides, Audrey's Municipal Band, Across the Stars, Battle of the Heroes, closing once again with the main theme. We hope that you enjoy this tribute to May 4th and Star Wars.
Now, of course, a finale like this needs a little specialist equipment. So we're gonna see how this goes. right. Well, here we are at the end of our spring concert. This is my 9th year at Western Reserve, and I can't do this with these on, sorry. Each year it gets a little bit harder to say goodbye to our seniors. I've seen them grow up. I've seen them grow in this program and in our music department. And so we want to play one last alma mater and introduce our seniors. Okay, Carmen. Gentlemen, may the force always be with you.
Well, first of all, I want to say, horrible idea giving us these lightsabers since we're going to beat each other up with them. Secondly, I want to add to what you said, and it is Teacher Appreciation Week, and we want to thank you for all you've done for us over the years. So when they get back, we'll have a little gift for you. It's been a wild ride, but we made it, didn't we? We also want to thank all our families. It's only been possible without all of you, so give yourselves a round of applause. So we have something here for Mrs. Hicks and Mrs. Henry. I'm not sure if she's in the house tonight, so we'll get that to her.
All right, so kiddos, you know what your assignment is. 6th grade, you're in charge of all the music stands, making sure the ones with pencil holders go back in the band room. The ones that don't have pencil holders go on the rack, back by Mrs. Miller's room. 7th and 8th graders, you're in charge of all the blue chairs, getting them set back up in the band room and having the extras stacked off to the side. High schoolers, you are in charge of percussion equipment and the jazz band setup. When you have completed those, and my podium and stuff, when you have completed those, I have stickers for you. Come see me.